Glory be to God, guys. How's it going? God bless you all, and happy Thursday. Had another bit of a red day today, but it's okay. Learning to take the good with the bad. As long as you follow your rules and you followed your plan, it's a good day. You know, if I followed my rules and I followed my plan, it was a good day, even though it was red. Now, granted, I followed my rule on sizing, but I didn't follow my rule on over/revenge trading. Still taking more trades than I would like. Although I am being more selective on the trades that I'm taking, I'm really trying to just hone in on the failed breakdowns. And I think I've been doing very well when it comes to just selecting to take the failed breakdowns. I've been solely just trying to focus on taking the failed breakdowns. I think I've done fairly well with that. I'm not taking nearly as many shorts just because shorts don't work as well with MES. I did take one into the close though today, ironically, which actually allowed me to make a little bit of profits back, but overall still red. So basically, it's tough. It is tough, and you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going, and you have to grit your teeth, like Dr. David Paul says. Grit your teeth, make a nuisance of yourself, and just do what you're supposed to do. Take your trade for 8 to 20 trades, and by that time, you should have rewired yourself to only take that trade and nothing else. It almost feels wrong for you to take anything outside of your plan. And that's the goal. The goal, really, making money is nice. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, it's not about making money. Honestly, it is about making money. But you can't focus on making money. That's the caveat. If you focus on making money and trading, you will fail. Even though it is about making money, you have to focus on your process. Process comes first, okay? If you don't have a process, you don't have a way to make money, okay? So focus on your process and the money will follow. I'm sure you guys have heard this thousands of times, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And like one of my videos, like about a month ago or so, I talked about things that happen most often and things that don't happen that often. The things that happen most often is you following your plan and you make money. That's what happens most often. If you follow your plan, you make money. Things that happen least often, but they still happen, is that you don't follow your plan and you make money. That's what hurts you, okay? And I'm living proof of that. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, meaning manage your risk, take 1% to 2% per trade, and don't take more than a certain amount of trades and stick with your setup. If you don't do those things and you make money, that's actually harmful to you. It's harmful to you as a trader, and it's destroying your future as a trader, okay? That's what happens least often. But you have to be careful, because when they do happen, you have to be able to recognize it and prevent yourself from doing it. And then of course you have the things that have the opposite of that, is you don't do what you're supposed to do and you don't make money, you lose a lot of money. Again, that's what happens most often. If you don't do what you're supposed to do and you lose money, that's what happens most often. With the inverse of that, if you do what you're supposed to do, you make money. That's what happens most often. And then of course the least often, you don't do what you're supposed to do and you make money. And sometimes you do what you're supposed to do and you lose money. Again, that's what happens least often. So keep that in the forefront of your minds and live to trade another day. Peace.